ating investor profile. Kumbaga sa ano, in terms of investments, ano ba ang ating personality? What is our character? And so before I introduce you to our main speaker for this evening, I would like to have first a quick exercise or activity. Gusto ko po na i-test natin, okay, ang bawat isa. Let us test ourselves and know what type of investor we are through this quick exercise which we call risk testing. Okay? Alam ko po na familiar kayo sa mga testing ngayon. Napakarami ng klase ng test na ginagawa ngayon. Pero ito po ay hindi related sa virus. It's all about testing our willingness and ability to take risk and therefore to invest. Okay? So are you ready? Sige nga, if you are ready, if you can quickly type in our live chat box, yes, I am ready. I am ready. Okay, so please take note that in this exercise, okay, there is no right or wrong answer. Okay, so wala rin po akong pa-premyo for this exercise. But that's why, everyone is encouraged to participate in this activity. Napakasimple lamang po ng mechanics ng ating exercise. First, you just need to answer all the 6 questions by choosing the letter of your answer from the given choices na ibibigay ko po later. And I'll give you 5 seconds to answer each question. Okay? Now, each letter corresponds to a score or a number of points, and after answering all the questions, you need to add up all your points. Okay? And later, we will add up all your points, and we will see what type of investor you are based on your willingness and ability to take risks. Okay? So for everyone who will be participating, we suggest that you write down or take notes. You write down your points on a piece of paper, or you may actually use your digital notes or any device para matrack ninyo, or you can do mental calculation para sa mga mahilig mag-memorize. Okay? So again, please be reminded that this is only an exercise. Okay? This is only an activity, and if you want to have a proper assessment of your investment or investor risk profile, you have to refer to a proper suitability assessment process. Okay? All right, so let's begin. Let's begin with this first question. Okay, syempre it all starts with a reason or why. So let's start with this question. What is your goal for investing? Okay, is it A, kikip ko lang ang pera ko, pero pwede din naman na may konting kita na medyo mas mataas naman sana sa time deposit, or mas mataas naman sana sa inflation rate. Okay, so is it A, keep ko lang yung value ng pera pero may konting kita na mas mataas ng time deposit, or is it B, steady growth lang ang pera, so kumikita pero dapat steady lang, or is it letter C, yung malaki dapat ang kikitain ko, that should be my goal. Okay, so again, I'll give you 5 seconds, and your 5-second timer starts now. Okay, ayan. So ano nga ba ang goal ninyo sa investing? When it comes to investing, okay, it all starts with having a goal in mind, because investing should be purpose-driven. Hindi yung mag-i-invest ka lang, ay wala akong goal. So that should not be the case. Okay, so you have to be clear and identify your purpose para you know kung anong course of action or type of vehicles that you would need in order for you to reach these goals. Okay, so let's find out. Okay, let's find out the answers, or ilang puntos nga ba ang meron ang bawat letra. Is it A, B, or C? Let's find out. Let's move to our next slide. Oh, there. Okay. So if you answered letter A, give yourself 1 point. If you answered letter B, give yourself 2 points. And if your answer is letter C, give yourself 3 points. Okay, so again, you have to take note of your points, and let's move on to our second question. Now, this time the question is, how long will you allow your money to grow before you feel the need to have access to it? Okay, how long? Is it letter A, less than 3 years? Is it letter B, between 3 to 7 years? Or is it C, longer than 7 years but less than 10 years? Or is it letter D, at least 10 years? Okay, so dapat 10 years and up. Okay, so is it letter A, B, C, or D? So again, we are talking about the investment horizon. Kanina po ay investment goal, but this time we are talking about investment horizon. And this is the time that you need, the time that you should be allotting to grow your money. Okay? So napakahalaga po that you prepare and you plan, you know your investment horizon para you know when should you be achieving your goals. Okay, so let's find out the corresponding points for each letter. Okay, so if you answer letter A, give yourself 0 point. Okay, if you answer letter B, between 3 to 7 years, give yourself 2 points. If it's C, you have 3 points, and if it's D, you give yourself 4 points. Okay, all right, so let's move on to our next question. Okay, this time, we want to know kung may experience ka ba, pero sa investments, okay? So the question is, have you invested in any of the following assets which you see on your screen? Set A, nakapag-invest ka na daw ba sa local or any Philippine pooled funds kagaya ng isang life insurance with investment, or di kaya kagaya ng isang UITF or unit investment trust funds or mutual funds, or you maybe have invested directly in the bond and the stock markets. Or is it set 2? Okay, ikaw ba ay nag-invest na sa mga bonds, stocks, or funds na offshore, okay, or available in the foreign markets? Okay, so please give your answer. Now, here are your choices. Is it letter A? Naku, wala pa talaga akong ka-XP experience. Or is it letter B? In one only, ibig sabihin doon lang ako sa mga local investments? Or is it letter C? In a second set? Or doon lang ako sa foreign investments? Or is it letter D? In both local and foreign or offshore investments? Okay, so let's find out. Okay, may sagot na ho ba kayo? You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, let's find out our scorecard for this one. Okay, so if you answer letter A, wala pang experience, give yourself 0 point. There's no point for that. If you answer B, give yourself 2 points. If you answer C, give yourself 4 points. And if you answer D, 4 points pa rin. Okay, ayan. So we are on to our fourth question. Now, this time, we want to see how you react to losses. Okay? Ikaw ba ay nadidepress agad? Or how do you react to losses? So here's the question. What will you do if you experience a significant drop or decline? Let's say 30% down or 30% loss in the value of your investment within a year. Ano ang gagawin mo? Is it letter A? Mag-withdraw na ako. Hindi na ako mag-i-invest. Tanggalin ko na, ipupull out ko na lahat ng investment ko. I-withdraw ko na yan. Or is it letter B? Ililipat ko na lang sa mas conservative or safer na fund. Okay? So I will stay invested pero ililipat ko lang. Isa-switch ko lang siya sa ibang safer assets. Or is it letter C? Well, chill muna. Just, hold on, steady, and just wait. Wait and see. Okay? Or is it letter D? Oh, it's a good opportunity to invest more. Okay, or so what's your answer? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, our reaction to losses, by the way, it helps us determine how willing we are to take any risk. Okay, so let's find out. What's our scorecard for this one? Okay, it's there on your screen. If you answer letter A, if your answer is letter A, no point. If you answer letter B, give yourself 1 point. If you answer letter C, 2 points. And if your answer is D, give yourself 4 points. Okay? All right. So again, please take note of all your points and make sure to add it up. Okay, so we are down to our last 2 questions. Okay, so our next question is, in the long term, or pag sinabi pong long term, usually more than 5 years or so. Okay, what is the level of investment loss you can afford to take? Is it letter A? Naku, hindi ko kayang mawalan at masaktan at all ng pera. Okay, hindi ko kaya. Wala akong risk na willing i-take. Or is it letter B? Kaya ko naman. May mga konting losses, pero dapat konti lang. I can take up to 5% loss. Or are you letter C? Kaya ko rin naman. Pero sige, medyo iangat natin. Hanggang 10% loss, kaya ko pang makatulog niyan. Or is it letter D? Are you letter D? Ako sanay na ako dyan. Sanay na ako sa mga gains and losses. So I can actually take even more than 10% loss. Okay, so let's find out. You have 5 seconds to answer. Okay, so at this point, we are determining your affordability to loss. Okay, how much you are willing and able to afford any loss. Okay, so this actually now measures your ability to incur or experience loss of money from investing. Let's find out what's our scorecard. Okay, if you are letter A, give yourself no point. There's no point for that. If you are letter B, na kaya mo naman up to 5% loss, you have 1 point. If you are letter C, 10% loss, you give yourself 2 points. And if you answered letter D, sanay ka sa mga losses, give yourself 3 points. Okay. All right. Ayan. So, isa na lamang po ang natitirang katanungan. So, at this point, I hope that you are still with us and you are still, make sure to add up all your questions, all your points, okay, from questions 1 to 5. And we are on our last and final question. Now, this time it's about risk and return. Okay. So, which of the sample financial portfolio do you prefer? Okay. Is it letter A? Nakikita nyo ngayon sa illustration. It's a letter A, 4% possible gain but potentially incurring 3% loss. Okay, may gain nga 4%, pero dapat ang loss ko 3% lang. Mas mataas pa rin ng konti yung gain. Or are you letter B, na okay lang sa'yo na 6% gain, 6% loss. So, kumbaga sa patas-patas tayo dapat, diba? Break even. Or are you the type of investor who is letter C, 10% gain and willing to take up to 12% loss? Or are you letter D? Siyempre, gusto mo ng potential gains of 20% or higher, but the potential loss is even higher than the potential gains, which is at 28%, diba? Or even higher, sabi dito. Okay, so 5 seconds to answer. Okay, so this time we are on our risk and return. Okay, sabi nga dito, ang risk and return daw is the potential annual gain and loss that you prefer. So right now, we are determining how much risk and return are you willing and able to take. Okay, all right, so let's reveal the points. Okay, so if you answer letter A, give yourself 1 point. If your answer is B, you give yourself 1 point. If your answer is letter C, 2 points. And if it's D, 3 points. Okay? Ayan. So that concludes our 6 questions, our risk profiling test. Now it's time for you to add up all your questions from question 1 to 6. And let's reveal our scorecard. Okay, ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin? Kapag po ikaw ay nakakuha ng, okay, just give me a minute just to, malulubat na ang aking. Alright, okay. So, okay, going back, on your screen, you can see the scorecard. So if you got 0 to 5 points, investing is probably not yet recommended for you at this point. And maybe ikaw po yung type of investor who is not yet comfortable taking any level of risk at this point. Okay, but it's better for you to really undergo a proper suitability assessment to determine your readiness in investing. All right, now, if you got 6 to 9 points, then you are a conservative investor. Ano po ba ang ibig sabihin nito? Maaaring you are someone who really, prefers investing in safer assets. Gusto mo yung safe lang lagi yung position. So, kumbaga sa slowly but surely, ika nga. Okay, and if you got 10 to 15 points, you consider yourself as a moderate investor. Okay, so you may be someone who is willing to accept a modest level of risk while seeking higher long-term returns. Ayan, or ikaw yung tipo ng investor who might want to, get the best of both worlds, di ba? Okay, and finally, if you got 16 to 21 points, okay, then you are an aggressive type of investor. So you may be someone who really, wants to aim for higher returns, and therefore you are willing to also take bigger risk. Okay? Now, at this point, I'd like to run a quick poll just to find out, kung ano ba ang resulta ng ating risk testing. Okay, launch the poll. Okay, so let's have a quick survey just to ask everyone What type of investor are you? Are you conservative, moderate, aggressive, or yung not yet recommended or hindi pa ready na mag-invest? May isa na sumagot. Okay, not yet recommended. But majority, I think, are, oh yes, majority ay moderate investors. Wow, okay, thank you very much. So some are aggressive. Ayan, so I'll share with you. I'll share the results. Oh, 1% lang ang not yet recommended. 7% ay conservative, while 58% or majority is moderate, and 34% ng ating mga attendees po ay aggressive. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. And again, would like to reiterate that the activity that we just did is just, an exercise. So if you want to really know what type of investor are you, you really have to undergo a proper suitability assessment process. Okay, so thank you very much for all who participated in our activity. And I guess again, remember, no, there's no such thing as the best or perfect investment, but there can only be the right investment for you. Kaya naman, I think at this point, because we know already what type of investor are we, then it's time to explore ano-ano ba yung mga
Recording in progress.
that can actually suit your risk profile. So it's time to learn how two of the most common financial assets might work for you, and it's time to have a better understanding how investing in funds can be a tool to becoming wealth smart. And tonight we have Pru Life UK's financial wellness and investing advocate with over 15 years of experience in the local capital market and insurance industries. And prior to joining Pru Life UK, he served as senior market education specialist and research specialist at the Philippine Stock Exchange for close to 10 years. And he is also a proud member of the Academe, a teacher pa lang ating speaker. And since 2009, teaching in various institutions, including the University of Santo Tomas, as an instructor of finance and economic subjects. And he is also an accredited teacher and a member of the Capital Markets Institute of the Philippines. Now, aside from this, he also serves as a National Advisory Council member of a UK-based Chartered Institute for Securities and Investments here in the Philippines. And he graduated from the University of Santo Tomas with a degree in BS Commerce, major in economics, also holding a master's degree in business administration from the Ateneo Graduate School of Business and MBA. And he also has an MBA with specialization in capital markets from the Lyceum of the Philippines University and the Philippine Stock Exchange. Please help me in welcoming Pru Life UK's financial wellness and investing advocate and guru, our Vice President and Head of Investment Marketing, Mr. Mark Anthony Valino. Hello, Sir Mark.
Yeah, hello, MJ. Good evening. And as we greet here in Pru Life UK, good morning to everybody. And it's a very insightful result yung inyong risk testing na ginawa kanina. And you know what? It's very important that before jumping into investing, alam natin kung anong klaseng investor tayo. And it's a good exercise that you did with MJ na-identify nyo. You got to have a glimpse of what type of investor you are. Now, for tonight's webinar, okay, we will go back to the basics. Okay, I'm sure you've attended a number of Outlook, okay, na webinars. You've read many news about bonds and stocks, but do we really understand it? Okay, and this is the very purpose of our webinar. Okay, bibigyan natin ng simple approach, okay, a layman's approach ang investments. Okay, and just allow me to share my screen as I begin my investment 101 session for everybody. Okay, I'd like everyone to be energetic. Alam ko it's dinner time, but we thank the over 1,000 attendees tonight. Okay, thank you for joining us and thank you for supporting PruWise webinar. So, simulan na natin ang learning tonight with this one. Okay, let's break financial myths. Okay, let's enlighten ang ating mga sarili sa mga common belief na likely pwedeng mali tungkol sa pag-i-invest. Okay? And let's have this one. Okay? Yung unang point. Let's break down the myths. Okay? Saving is not the same as deposit. Do you agree? Can I see from our chat box, from everyone attending, do you agree that saving is not equal or the same as deposit? Agree. Or resounding agree from everybody. Now, my question is, yung saving ba, pag dinagdagan ko ng S ay pareho? When I add S at the end of the word saving, okay, naging saving siya, will it be the same? Okay, I'm getting mixed answers this point, but most are sasabi, no. And very good, okay, because you have the right appreciation. Kasi po, ang saving, okay, is an act without the S at the end, it is an action word. Meaning, okay, ginagawa yan. In fact, saving is a strategy for financial wellness. And it's not equivalent to your deposit. Yung may S sa dulo, yun yung likely magka-classify si deposit. Okay? So, we will, and in savings, okay, which we will later delve into deeper, okay, is the very reason na dapat purpose-driven tayo when we save. What do I mean by that? Okay? So, as everything, okay, as in everything, kailangan nagsisimula tayo sa identification of needs, how much, okay, setting objectives, simply put, okay? And when you set your objectives, nade-define kasi natin yung purpose, para saan. And in fact, for the future, when we talk about wealth, when we talk about money, we always talk about our personal future goals. Okay? And in fact, more than personal, it could be a family goal, di ba? Okay? And here are common goals that we have, okay? Summarized into, meron tayong emergency, meron tayong wellness savings, okay? Meron tayong education, at meron din tayong discretionary or yung mga sinatawag nating hindi ganon ka-importante, okay? Discretion lang, ibig sabihin, okay? Can I check sa lahat? Okay? Are there sounds? There are sound ba? Is there sound?
Hi, Sir Mark, from my end, you are clear?
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes,
okay,
we can.
Good. Okay, thank you. Now, going back, so we set our own goals. Now, saan papasok dito yung saving? Okay? Saving comes in through different channels. Okay? When we talk about emergency saving, di ba? Iisipin natin, ano ba nature nito? Okay? What's the nature of emergency saving? Na bakit? Okay? It should be ready when you need it. And yung reason, kaya nga siya emergency, unlikely, hindi mo magusto mangyari, common yan, ayro bigla ang mangyayari. So, what's your saving channels, okay, para masagot to? It should be a deposit account. Why? Kasi pag emergency, okay, dapat readily available. In fact, dapat tawag natin yung liquid. Okay, what do you mean by liquid? Cash. Okay, in a form of cash, kumbaga readily available sa yung pera. Madaling withdrawin. Okay, yan yung ibig sabihin nun. Kasi that answers it. Kung gagamitin mo, let's say, ang stock market, okay, to fund emergency, pag nagkaroon po ba kayo ng emergency, tatawag ka sa broker or mag-online stock trading ka, then you have to wait for a number of days just to get the money. Hindi po yun aligned. So, kailangan you put emergency, okay, funding or savings dun sa mas madali mo makukuha, very liquid, okay, at dapat yan. In fact, tama si Ms. Carol, on hand. Okay? So that's the point. Now, when we talk about health or your wellness, okay, so source of cash outflow dyan, pwedeng allowance, income, all right? And then we got wellness, okay? When we talk about wellness, ano bang pinakamagandang strategy for wellness or health? Unang-una, be healthy. Make yourself healthy or even healthier have a healthier lifestyle so you reduce the chances of you, okay, getting sick. Yan po yung pinakamagandang strategy for you to lessen your hospital expenses, your medical expenses. But in case, okay, na magkaroon po tayo ng problems, what could be the channel proper for that? We got, di ba? Di ba ang health concerns, ang pagkakasakit, risk yan eh. So one way to lessen that risk, and also my financial risk din yan, okay, is through what we call health or life insurance. So that's a saving channel where you can put naman all your wellness goals, okay? Then for a longer term naman na goals, okay, we got, okay, a combination, yes, HMO pwede din, okay? Education, okay, matagal pa naman yun, mga pang-college naman ng anak ko. So that would be about 10 years from now. So pag merong mahabang panahon, hindi enough at hindi rin wise na lahat idadaan sa deposit or say time deposit. Diba? Kasi maliit yung kita doon. Okay? While it's there, sayang naman yung time spent by the money in a deposit. So you'll have to find a channel, a saving channel, wherein, okay, you allow time na mag-favor sa'yo kasi pwedeng mag-grow. The chances of growing money can be done through investing. Okay, mag-lead na tayo doon sa main topic natin. Now, for at the same time, what if, di ba, meron din tayong risk dahil pag mahaba po ang panahon, the risk gets high din kasi madaming pwede mangyari. Then, primarily, you put layer of protection there para you manage financial risk as well. Di ba? Para by the time na kailanganin, hindi maaaberya yung mga financial goals. Okay? And finally, for the things that you like, yung discretionary, alright, discretionary. Ano to? Ito yung pwedeng next travel goal mo to Europe, your next travel goal to Japan, kasama ng asawa mo, di ba? Okay? Ibig sabihin po nun, pwede ba siyang hindi mangyari? Will it affect your life if it doesn't happen? Well, yeah. Pero pwede mo gawing channel ang pag-i-invest in a pure investment product or a wealth product like UIFs, okay, or unit investment trust funds, para dito mo ilagay. Kasi I know personally people who actually funded, okay, their travel goals or nakadagdag sa travel budget nila yung gains from their investment. Kasi nga, it takes time as well. So, that's what we wanted you to appreciate, that there is a specific channel directed to achieve something of a future financial goal. Okay, I hope everyone, okay, gets to appreciate that. Now, we move on to the meat of our topic, okay, of our session. It's comparing, di ba, moving to investing. So alam na natin yung difference ng saving and investing. Kasi po ang pagsisave, nagpo-proportion ka, okay, nagsiset aside ka ng pera after ng consumption mo. Ibig sabihin, pagtanggap mo na sweldo, ginamit mo for your food, electricity, ano yung natira sa'yo? Okay? Ano yung natira sa'yo after spending for the essentials, the important things? Okay? That's what you save. Okay? And then, investing naman, okay, is intended for growth. Okay? Pwedeng yung extra mong pera, ilagay mo sa investment, okay? But, what's the concern? Okay? Sa saving kasi, paglagay ko sa bangko, very safe yan, very low risk. Okay? Laging kumpleto yan. Okay? When you decide to put your money in investments or to invest it, okay, there's a possibility of growth, pero you subject already the money sa risk. Pwedeng mabawasan yung pera. So that's very clear, ha? So why should one invest? Okay, it is a source of growth or income. Okay ba yun? Yes. Okay, what is source of growth? Source of growth will come from price appreciation, meaning binili mo ng mura at bibenta mo ng mahal. This is what you know, buy low, sell high. Okay? It is also a source of income. How? Because bonds provide you fixed income. Okay? Stocks also provide you through dividends. There are actually funds that provide payouts. May binibigay na cash every quarter. So, Investing could also a way for you to generate income. Okay? And that's also a way to diversify your income sources. Okay? And okay, there's also a way to achieve long-term financial goals, as I mentioned earlier. That's through investing, okay? Yung pag-invest, okay, can actually help you achieve your retirement goals, okay? I have the keyword there, long-term, okay? So, ibig sabihin, many years from now, your retirement. By the way, retirement should be actually planned when you're young, not when you're retiring. Because ang kalaban mo sa investment ay time. Education, big ticket purchases, or your personal goals. Okay? Money diversification. Paano po yun? Always remember that diversification is an old age strategy sa investment, sa negosyo, sa buhay. It's spreading risk. So when you spread risk, you lessen it and you don't depend on a single source. Okay? And you can diversify your financial portfolio when you allocate a certain amount of your money sa pag-invest. Okay? Either through funds or directly investing sa market. And the killer of investment returns, okay, and the killer of your wallets, okay, our wallets, ay yung inflation. Inflation, hindi po nawawala yan eh, buwan-buwan, okay? Nag-iiba lang siya ng taas ng presyo, but every single month, meron tayong inflation. And bihirang-bihira tayo magkaroon ng tinatawag na pagbaba, deflation, di ba? So it's always been, most of the time, okay, our prices, the price of goods and services, increase. In fact, I recently experienced that my budget for grocery cannot actually accommodate na the same number of goods or a basket. So through investing, through growing your money, it can actually lessen the effect of inflation. All right? So when we talk about investment, we talk about assets. Assets that can grow, okay, in value and can also decline in value. So that's the reason why we got what we call a risk and reward concept. Ano po ba yung risk and reward? Okay, alam nyo to. Okay? It's just a formal way of telling, di ba? For every return, higher returns means higher risk ang kasama niyan. And there are various assets. Actually, there are different assets with, which has value. Okay, but meron tayong dalawang distinction sa assets. Okay, financial assets and non-financial assets. When we talk about financial assets, ito yung kadalasan, okay, tinitrade sa market pero hindi mo nakikita. Just like your bonds and stocks, okay, which we will discuss in detail later. Tapos, syempre, cash, the most liquid of them all, is also a financial asset. Okay? Tapos meron naman tayong mga non-financial asset at kadalasan naman nahahawakan nyo ito like your property, okay, commodities, and other alternative like your painting. O yung dati, yung may t-shirt ka ni Heidelin Diaz na may pirma niya, dati wala masyadong value yan. Pero ngayon, meron na. So that could be, di ba, a way to increase in value. So, yan po yung iba't ibang assets that we have. All right? So, our aim is actually, if you can possibly do it, mas madaming assets in your portfolio, the better. Okay? That means lumalawak yung sources mo ng growth. Okay? So, as a reminder, di ba, nag-risk testing kayo kanina, always remember this. Okay? Low risk, low return, high risk, high potential return. And different assets would have, okay, different or their own risk and return trade-off. Okay? When you ascend, di ba, ito yung strategy. If you don't have anything yet, start with saving up with your deposit. Tapos pag madami-dami ka ng pera, you set goals here, you set targets. Kunwari, pag nagka 1 million na ako, I can move on to investing. Okay? And you may directly invest in funds or directly in bonds and stocks. And then eventually, when you get to have that, meron ka ulit liquidity, you can buy a real property, you can buy a condo, your house and lot. Goal setting po yun. Okay? But again, every asset would have a distinct characteristic. Okay? And when we talk about risk, there are many reasons. Di ba pag sinabi natin risk, it's always been what? Bakit pwede bumaba yung value ng pera ko? Bakit pwede bumagsak yung invest ko? Yun yung risk na tinatawag natin. The chance of your money or your investment to go down in value, okay? Yung chances na dahil yung asset na ininvestan mo, bumaba ang value. Okay? And here are simply what you call, okay, yung mga risk na meron. The most common would be market risk. Yung pagtaas, baba ng price sa market, at lalo na pag bumababa siya, from the price na binili mo siya, could pose losses, okay? Could make you incur losses. And that's what you call market risk. Okay? And then, sa country risk naman, ano to? Okay? Ano ba pwedeng masamang mangyari sa isang bansa? Okay? It could be political problems, government instability, di ba? Mga begera, ayaw mo mag-invest sa ganung bansa. So, may risk din, checkin mo din dapat saan bansa ka nag-i-invest. Anong klaseng, saan galing bansa yung mga stocks or bonds kung saan ka nag-i-invest. So, that also poses risk. Okay? Yes, terrorism is one. Okay? Then, currency or foreign exchange risk. Kasi alam nyo, with the global trade, okay, global investment na nangyayari po sa atin, okay, what could be a problem for investment? Siyempre, just like in the market, di ba yung forex, nagbabago, tumataas baba, the chances na magkaroon ka ng currency losses would affect also yung value kung saan ka nag-i-invest. Okay? And then, interest rate risk. Okay? This is more common, okay, sa mga bonds, okay, na merong fixed income, na very sensitive to interest rate. Okay? Ang bonds po, okay, isa sa mga kalaban yan, interest rate risk. Okay? Kapag gumagalaw ang interest rate, which is set by the central bank, okay, may pagbabago din sa presyo ng bonds in the market. So, that could also be a source of risk. Okay? And then, lastly, okay, we're talking about bonds. Ano bang chance na ang risk meron sa... Alam natin ang bonds, conservative asset. Okay? Pero may risk pa rin po yun. Okay? Bonds, okay, they have actually risk din na tinatawag na credit or default risk. Kasi bonds are utang. So ano bang risk sa pag-ungutang or nagpautang ka? Hindi ka mabayaran. And that's what you call default or credit risk. Okay? More of that later, but my point is, okay, different asset would have different, okay, characteristics. Okay? Deposits could be safe, but the returns may be low and probably it can be weakened by inflation. Bonds, okay, can give you stable income source, pero hanggang maturity date lang yung chances mo na pwede kumita doon. And you have to invest another. Okay, stocks can give you potential high returns, but chances are very volatile yan, okay, and it can lower the value of your initial investment. And so also with funds. Real estate na lang ako, may risk din po yan. Kasi yung depreciation yan, okay? The maintenance cost is a problem. But it could also appreciate in value if the right location, okay, ay nandun yung property mo. And also business, as you all know. So there are many ways to grow your money, but it all depends on the asset you're investing in and on the length of time you want to allow your money to grow. So question, okay? Elements of investing are three: risk, return, and time. Risk talks about ano ba yung kaya mong losses. Okay? When you invest, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, have a personal target. Gaano ba kalaki yung losses na kaya mo? Gaano ba kalaki yung gains na gusto mo? Okay? And how long you want to stay invested. When you answer this, then, okay, you're probably set to invest already. Okay? Question po. Okay, everyone. Okay? What if I offer you something, an asset with a low risk? Okay? Who wants to invest in a low risk asset? Can you type in yes sa chat box natin? Okay? Who wants to invest in a low risk asset? Okay, I'm seeing more of the yes. A mix actually. May nagdo-no din. Siguro ayaw ninyo. okay, ng low risk. Gusto nyo kasi may taas ng return, but most are agreeing, yes, I want to have low risk. Do you want ba yung ganyan, low risk? Tapos, pwede kang bigyan ng high return. Now, who wants that? Low risk with high return. Who wants? Maybe, may nag-yes, may nag-me, may nag-either, pero makikita ko madaming yes. May nag-no, okay, na mahaba yung O, tapos pwede mo makuha in a short period of time. Naku, sounds familiar. May me. Nako, may nakita na akong tamang sagot. Ang sagot po dyan, it's a scam. Okay? Naku, ang dami ko nakita nag-yes. Okay? But, you know, when that kind of offering ang narinig nyo sa isang tao, isip, okay? Isip muna. Okay? Kahit galing po sa akin yun, at yan ang sinabi ko, likely is a scam. Okay? So, we now begin with appreciating para hindi kayo ma-scam, alamin natin ano ba itong mga bonds and stocks in detail. So, let's start with bonds. Bonds simply in one three-letter word, IOU. Okay? May utang ako sa'yo. At pag may utang, anong kapalit nun pag nagpautang ka? Dahil yung pera, sana pwede mo gamitin sa ibang bagay, pero pinautang mo, syempre, okay, may kapalit dapat. May interest. Correct. Now, to understand bonds simpler, all right, alam ko, napakahirap intindihin ng bonds, but as a starter, this is what you need to know. Okay? In a borrowing and lending relationship, pag may utangan kayo ni Mare at ni Pare, di ba? Ni Mars, ni Mamshis, may nangutang sa'yo. Sino pa yung mga participants doon? Okay? The borrower and the lender. Now, okay. Sa mga medyo kaedad ko po and more and wiser, okay? Ano po ba dating ginagawa natin kapag hindi pa tayo magbabayad ng tuition fee? 38 na po ako. Ano yung PN? Promissory note. Okay? Madalas magkamali nanay ko dyan kasi hindi namin alam kung double S ba o double R. But nag-sorry kami. Ano yung promissory note? It's a promise. Diba? Sa utang, promise to pay yun eh. IOU. Okay? Dahil ikaw, sino yung sumulat ng promissory note? Yung borrower o yung lender? O, sino sumulat? Abay, lender pa. Hindi ba yung borrower? Yung borrower, kaya ang tawag sa kanya issuer. Siya yung nagsulat eh. Okay, I borrow money, I want to borrow, di ba? And who gets to receive that letter? Who will have that letter eventually? Lender. Siya yung may hawak. Holder siya. Okay, ano obligation ni borrower kay lender? Magbigay ng interest. And that's what you call coupon. O every month, meron kang 3%. Hanggang kailan? O di hanggang 2 years kasi yun yung total. Okay? Promise to pay pero sorry. Agree. Nangyayari po yan. Okay? And that time na magbabayad ka na in full is maturity date. Okay? Ganun siya kasimple. Pero paano naging investment po yung utang? Nangyayari po yan. Okay? These are the components of a bond. The borrower, the lender, the principal, the maturity date, and the coupon rate. Diba? Okay? Alam na natin yan. Okay? Paano siya nagiging investment? Depende yan. Kasi ang mangungutang, dapat, magandang tip to pag umutang ka, dapat gagamitin mo yung pera inutang mo for productive reasons. What do I mean by that? Ibig sabihin, you just don't borrow money just because you will spend for food, to buy, let's say, your favorite cell phone. Okay? Dapat, kapag wise borrower ka, you will use your borrowed money to generate income for you so that you can pay the principal and you also have earnings from the money you borrowed. Okay? Hindi yung pang celebrate ng birthday unless may kikitain tayo sa pa-birthday mo. So, that's how bond works. And usually, okay, bonds are issued by the government. Okay? Tapos, companies. Okay, kaya we call it corporate bonds and even household people. And borrowers can be the same sectors. And yung gobyerno, di ba, pag nangungutang, di ba, dapat may project yan that will also earn, may return of interest, may return of income siya para sa ano, may ROI investment. So projects, para yung project na yan should turn income. So yan yung nagiging reason ba't nag-raise ng bonds. Uutang is a better way also to borrow money, di ba? Kasi madami ka hinihiraman na tao. When you invest in bonds, you lend a company or a government money. Okay? And bonds are not just a simple borrow and lend. Depende sa issuer, there are different types of bonds. Okay, government bonds, okay, corporate bonds, and in between, there are quasi-government. Pag sinabing quasi, parang, di ba? Like government, okay? Then there we got supranationals, okay? Yung supranationals, walang nationality, like your ADB, ayan. Okay? So, yung quasi naman, parang yan yung mga GOCCs, okay? But issuers are also evaluated. Di ba pag humihiram ka ng pera, meron ka dapat, makakabayad ba to? Di ba? So, that's what you call credit rating. Okay? Yung pag humihiram ka nga sa bangko, you are evaluated by the bank. So, the higher your credit rating is, okay, the lower risk, and likely you'll get lower return. Kaya yung mga government bonds na galing Amerika, medyo maliit yan compared sa mga high-yielding na corporate bonds. Okay? Correct, Sir Matthew. Okay? Then, by maturity, di ba, may maturity date si bonds. Okay? There are less than 1 year bond asset, like treasury bills ang tawag po doon, na yan yung narinig natin sa bangko, 91, 191 day, 181 day, 364 day. So mga less than 1 year. But if you want longer ones, treasury bonds na po ang tawag doon, which can be 2, 5, 7, 10, 20, or even 30 year long. Okay? Again, sabi nga yan, time is an element in investment. So pag mas matagal yung oras, it becomes riskier. Okay? And vice versa. And finally, okay, hindi lahat ng bonds ay fixed ang income. Meron din tayong tinatawag na floating rates. So floating meaning, di ba, sa dagat pag nagpo-float, okay, yung rates mo nagpo-float, ibig sabihin nagbabago depende sa market condition. Okay? Then zero coupon. Pero bang bond na walang bibigay? Yes, and normally they are traded at a discount. Kaya yung discount na yun, dun ka nakakita na yun. Okay? And then, dahil kalaban ng bonds ang inflation, may mga bonds na nakadugtong sa inflation na pag mas mataas ang inflation, mag-a-adjust yung ibibigay niyang coupon. So there are different bonds in the market, but definitely it provides income. Okay? So when you see a bond issuance, common mangyayari po ito. Okay? Makakabasa kayo ng ROP, which means Republic of the Philippines. Okay? Tapos merong percent, 6.35, di ba? Okay, yung 6.35 na yan yung tinatawag nating coupon rate, tapos may date, okay? Yan yung maturity date. Okay, sorry, ayan, lumampas. Ayan, the maturity or the length of time. So, pag po tayo nakakita ng mga bond investments, kadalasan, you will see these details. Okay? ROP 6.35 kasi merong date. Hindi ganyang format eh. Nakalagay 3/12/24. So, ibig sabihin po nun, okay, yan yung issuer, the government, coupon rate 6.35, at yung maturity date is yung date na yan. Okay? And how you earn from bonds? Okay? You earn from bonds through interest rate changes, okay, yung credit quality, at also currency. Okay? When we talk about interest, okay, importante po ito sa bonds. Okay? Interest, okay, yung interest rate, saan po ba ito galing? Okay? Primarily, nagsisimula yan dun sa central bank. Okay? In our case, it's the BSP. Okay? In America, it's the US Federal Reserve. They have what we call monetary policy. Okay, ano ba yung monetary policy? Yan yung mga polisiya ng central bank. Isa dyan, okay, to ensure yung money supply, okay, at isa doon yung policy setting nila tinatawag, yung pag-set ng interest rate. Kasi yung interest rate na tinatawag nila yan sa central bank, the policy rates, yan ang tawag nila, okay, yan yung borrowing and lending rate na ina-adapt din ng bangko when they borrow money also from the central bank. At pag nangyari yon, yan din yung pinapasa nila sa mga borrowers na customers nila. So what's in it for us? Okay? When the market interest rate increases, okay, meaning, kunwari, ngayon 2%, magiging 2% muna, sige, let's set it at 2%. Okay? Tapos yung bond mo gives you also 2%. Okay? So pareho. Tinaas yung interest rate to 2.5. Siyempre, yung ibang bond sa market, gagamitin na yung 2.5 din. So what happens to your bond na 2%? Okay pa ba? Yes or no? Okay pa po ba yung bond na yun na may 2%, 2.5 na? No! Okay, what happens? So technically, when you say no, will you likely sell that? Yes or no? Isi-sell nyo ba? Buy or sell? Maghahanap ka na ng mas mataas, right? Okay. So pag nagbentahan po yung ganyan, tulad ng mga ginagawa, sabi nyo ngayon, you will sell, okay? Okay, pag madami po nag-sell, babagsak yung price. Okay? Kasi nga in favor of the higher yielding now. And then, kapag yung bond mo, okay, it will also, bumagsak ang price, the market value also goes down. And the relationship is inverse. When the interest rate goes down, bond price goes up, and your bond value, okay, yung market value niya becomes higher as well. Okay? So, yan po yung relationship ng interest rate sa bonds. Okay? May pa yung relationship actually, but it is the basic one. Okay? Now, credit quality. Okay. Credit quality is all about what are the chances na yung issuer, yung borrower ay hindi makabayad sa'yo. So, may mga credit rating agencies po tayo like Moody's, S&P, which means Standard and Poor's, tapos Fitch Ratings. Ang trabaho niyan, mag-assess ng mga borrower. And they give credit evaluation and they give credit rating. Parang sa school, A, B, and C. So when it's A, maganda yun. Pag B, average. Pag C, di maganda. Or pag D pa, hindi rin maganda yun. But, okay ba yun yung ganun po? Yes, because different credit quality would also mean iba't ibang kita na possible. Again, when a bond has a high credit quality, like the levels of AAA, AA+, ayan, yun yung mga ganyan klase ng ratings, okay? They're less high quality but low risk. Kasi nga, maganda yung quality eh. Hindi masyadong magte-take ng risk yan. Okay? Hindi masyadong risky, I mean. Okay? Then we got yung mga BBB, okay, BBB minus, na tulad ng Pilipinas, sa BBB level tayo, medyo investment grade, pero ano tayo sa medium risk. Okay? May chances pa rin mag-default. And there are bonds which are rated, yung nakalagay dyan, not prime or not, pag hindi prime cut, di ba, parang sa meat. Pag hindi prime, hindi siya ganun kaganda, pero dahil magte-take ka ng risk, okay, it means, okay, it will give you possible higher returns. Di ba po, ganito, pag pauutangin nyo po ba ang taong walang trabaho? Will, yes or no? Pauutangin niyo po ba ang taong walang trabaho? No! Walang kita. So, hindi kayo nag-take ng risk, di ba? Pero dun sa mag-take ng mag-risk, sa may nag-yes, si Miss Sarah, kunwari, biglang nanalo ng loto or naging gold Olympian, di ba? Yumaman siya bigla, dehuyo ka, di mo siya pinautang. So, yan yung chances that kahit ang mga high-risk bonds can deliver. Okay? So, pag pangit na pangit yung bonds, pero malakas pa din naman ang kikitain mo, pero junk bonds na po yun. Very risky na. Okay? And then finally, currency. Currency, paano po ba yan? Ito, medyo magpa-problem solving tayo. Kunwari, ang peso-dollar rate natin, 47 to $1. Okay? Nag-invest ka na 1 million, okay? Tapos nakabili ka ng 47 million ng worth of peso bonds. Okay? So you got, kasi 1 million times 47. Bumili siya ng 5-year government bonds na nagbibigay ng 4% per annum. So alam nyo na, coupon, the type of issuer. And after 1 year, okay, kumita siya ng 1.88 million. So tumaas kasi yung value ng bond assets niya, yung bond investment niya. So from 47 million plus 1.88, dahil kinita niya, 48.88 million niya. Well, so what's the deal? Okay. Yung 48.88 million mo at 47, meron ka $1,040,000. So that's 40% return from the 1 million pag kinonvert mo. Eh bigla nag-appreciate yung peso. Pag nag-appreciate, mas lumiliit. From 47 naging 45. When you divide the same amount, yung 48.88 million pesos, you divide mo now this time to an unappreciated peso na 46. Okay, second line, 6.3% yung return mo na kasi yung dollar mo naging 1.062 million. So, ang impact sa itong example na to is the appreciation gave higher returns for the dollar investment. At reverse happens when the peso depreciates against the dollar. So, may impact din po siya. Okay? So, and then, ito medyo school tayo. Importante kasi malaman nyo din yung yield curve. Ano ba yung yield curve? Okay, gagawa ka ng graph. Okay? Eh di ba pag gumagawa tayo ng graph, okay, we make what? A curve, a line, right? Okay, now, mag-plot tayo ng graph. Two factors. Sa x-axis, okay, sa yung pahalang, yung horizontal, okay, maturity. Di ba yung time to mature? So alam natin yan, di ba? From earlier. Then sa vertical naman, okay, sa y-axis mo, okay, you get there the bond yields. Okay, o yung quote-unquote return, okay, sa bonds mo. Pag pinaplot mo siya, okay, ayan, naku, parabola and hyperbola lang ko, bola-bola lang po ang alam ko. But pag pinaplot mo siya, di ba? Nakikita niyo, di ba? Pag ang curve na nabubuo mo, habang tumatagal, tumataas yung yield or nagpa-flatten sa dulo, ayan, okay? Yan yung normal. Yan yung normal na way na habang tumatagal, tumataas yung yield. Agree? Di ba dapat compensate ka habang tumatagal ka mag-invest until it flattens sa dulo? That's what you call a yield curve. When that's the relationship na habang tumatagal yung time and tumataas yung yield, that's a normal yield curve. Pag baliktad na bumabagsak yung yield habang tumatagal, that's an inverted. Abnormal yon. What does it mean for us? Ito po yung clue. Pag normal yung curve, which is yung habang tumatagal yung panahon, tumataas yung yield, it smells expansion, economic expansion. Pag naman inverted, naku, recession yan, bagsak ang ekonomiya. Pag flat, medyo slow down yung economy. So that's, okay, naku, meron na po dati na nagkaroon ng inverted, okay? So, I think 2 or 3 years, cannot remember, pero nagkaroon po tayo niyan. Si Amerika, okay, si Japan, okay? Nangyayari sa kanila. So, yan po yun. But my guidance for everybody is this. Okay? When you invest in bonds, okay, buy bonds when interest rates are expected to decline. Naku, bakit? Why? Why you should buy bonds when interest rates are expected to decline? Okay? Bakit po? Again, what happens, okay, when interest rates go down? Okay. So, because when interest rates go down at that point, what will happen? Tataas yung bond price. Pumili ka ngayon, kumita ka. And on the other hand, sell bonds when interest rates are expected to rise. Okay? So, yun po yun. Alright. So, when interest rates go up, what happens to bond price? Okay, ayan. Okay, you're getting it, guys. Galing, very good. So, when you expect it to decline, okay, tataas yung price, okay, bibili ka ngayon pa lang. So, yung keyword dyan, yung expected. Okay, yung expected po. Okay? Kasi nga, in anticipation. Because you know what happens to a bond price when interest rates go up and down. Paano po nyo malalaman yan? Pag nagbasa po kayo ng dyaryo, Okay? Mababasa nyo, BSP, Central Bank, ganyan, might increase interest rates. Okay. So what will happen? So yun po yung pwedeng mangyari. Mamaya may market update po tayo. So we'll be able to update you with the value of our bonds. But yan. So mababasa nyo sa dyaryo yung news about what you call this? The central bank's decision, mga plano niya. So sometimes it's good to have this considered when you check the news. Okay? Diyan yung makikita yung guidance niyan. And then, bonds are not risk-free. Okay? Meaning, okay, hindi porket conservative, okay, risk-free. No. Diba? Sabi nga natin, as discussed earlier, bonds have the following risk. Okay? Interest rate, inflation, credit rating, liquidity, and exchange risk. Yung mga binanggit natin kanya could be a factor. Okay? So what will what will happen yung pag ganyan? So kailangan alam din natin na yung bonds are not totally safe as in risk-free. It's a conservative asset but it's not without yung mga risk na yan. May risk pa din siya. Okay? So but bonds are generally safe even with risk because it can provide you fixed income and also a way to diversify. Okay? Kasi di ba, what do I mean by diversify? Kung all stocks ka, takot ka naman masyadong maging malugi pag naging volatile yung stock market, pampalab o pampales ng bagsak yung bonds. Kasi these two assets, bonds and stocks, they move normally in different directions. When bonds are good, okay, normally ang stocks hindi nagpa-perform. Okay, mamaya pag-usapan din natin yan. Okay? So, we move on now to stocks. Okay? What happens when we invest in stocks? You become, okay, what? A part owner of the corporation. Okay? By being a part owner, okay, dapat, what? Ito nga yung fastest way to become an entrepreneur kasi nagiging stockholder ka. So when you buy shares of stock of SM, anong tawag po sa inyo? Pag kayo po yung bumili kayo ng stocks ni SM, stockholder, dapat specific kayo. SM shareholder dapat, or diba? Shareholder ng SM. Okay, pag stockholder kayo ng Meralco, ano pong tawag sa inyo? Shareholder ng Meralco. O, diba? Pag bumili ka ng stocks ng ABS, anong tawag po sa inyo? Ayun, tama si Miss Mondalisa, kapamilya. Diba? At kasapi. Kasi po ang Tagalog ng stocks ay sapi. Okay? Sapi is what? Okay, shares, equities. Yan. Yan po yung ibig sabihin ng stocks. Yung equities, shares, stocks. Okay? Naku, yung nagsasabing lugi na sa ABS, antayin niyo yan. Diba? Now, being a stockholder means being a part owner. And being a part owner of a company entails also, dapat i-check nyo, anong pinaka-importante pag nag-invest ka sa negosyo? Kumita yung company. So that's the basic thing you have to check in a company. Not just the earnings today, but the earnings in the futures. So ibig sabihin, the plans of a company is very important when you invest in stocks. Kikita ba yung company? Gaganda ba siya? Magkakaroon ba siya ng prangkisa? Yan yung mga dapat nyong itanong. And in the stock market, these are the participants, the investors, the stock exchanges, the brokers, and the listed companies. Okay? Now, isa-isahin natin. Okay? Investors are the buyers and sellers in the market. Okay? So dati, ginagawa yan, tawag, hello, I want to buy. Ganyan. Tapos merong magko-computer yung broker, ay meron daw magse-sell, magma-match yun. Parang love life with stock market o yung investment. Kailangan nagma-match. Ngayon, may online na. Meron na ring app. But it all started with a call. Dati nga may chalkboard yan. Okay? But that's how the market, parang palengke lang. Imagine that. Okay? So, yan. Okay? There's a lot. There are many ways now to invest. But here, stock market is where the buyers and sellers meet. Okay? And then, ano yung binibili nila sa market? The stocks of companies. So when you call PLC, it means publicly listed company. Okay? And then, makakabili ka ba diretso ng stocks? Kailangan, maghanap ka ng broker. Okay? Kailangan, meron kang account sa isang brokerage company, either online or hindi, para yung broker ang mag-connect sa'yo sa stock market. Siya yung mag-a-allow ng buyer and seller to meet at the same price. So, the match between the buyer's price and the seller's price, pag nag-match po yan, parang sa love life, di ba? Nag-match yan, trade yun, ibig sabihin. And who regulates the stock market? It is the stock exchange. Alright? So, it's the stock exchange that monitors, okay, ensures a fair, efficient, transparent, and orderly market. I-memorize yan ni MJ din. Okay. So, it's the PSE who actually regulates the stock market. Okay. And then, you get sources of returns sa stocks through price appreciation or capital appreciation. Kumita ka ng mura, buy low, sell high. You bought at this price. Nag-increase ng price from the time you bought it, from the value that you bought it, and then sell it at higher price. That's appreciation. Then dividends, okay, is a income na pwede mo makuha by being invested in stocks, and that gives you additional cash, pwede ding additional shares, kasi meron tayong cash dividend, meron din tayong stock dividend, meron din property dividend, iba't ibang klase pong dividendo, may pa-extra. Okay, kumari, meron kang 10 shares ng isang company at nag-declare siya ng 1 peso per share, then you get 10 pesos additional money. So, ganun yung dividends. Now, when you invest in stocks, it's also important that you know the stocks you're investing in. And there are different types of stocks in the market, and beginning with the most popular ay yung blue chip stocks. Okay? Ano ba yung blue chip stocks? Sino po, bakit po blue chip? What does it mean by a blue chip? Mag-yes nga po kung sino po dito ang nagkakasino. Yes or no? Who plays casino here? Nako, ayan. Kasi po, ang blue chip will have the highest value. At ang blue ay bughaw, di ba? So, ibig sabihin yan, alright, when a stock is called a blue chip, pangalan pa lang, alam mo na. Di ba? Pag binanggit ko pong SM, okay, type nyo nga, blue chip or not blue chip, okay? SM, is it a blue chip? Okay, nandyan na siya, di ba? Meralco, is it a blue chip? Okay. Semirara. Ayan, di ba? Hindi nyo kasi kilala, di ba? So, companies who have long history of growth, long history of profitability, and strength, yung kahit bumagsak ekonomiya, they remain strong, okay, normally they go with the camp ng mga blue chip stocks. And blue chip stocks have lower risk, okay? Kasi nga maganda yung company quality, okay, yung fundamentals. Next are income stocks. Bumibili kayo nito kasi magbabagbigay ng dividendo. You know one strategy in investing, okay, if you want to earn income apart from price kita, is find stocks that actually yung mahilig magbigay ng dividendo. When a company declares dividends regularly, ibig sabihin they have money to share with the stockholders, okay? And investing in income stocks is a way to add income, di ba? May dagdag kita ka. Okay? So yan yung magandang mga companies if you are into making it liquid. Okay? So, yan, REITs. Okay? Tama, yung Real Estate Investment Trust. Okay? So, isa ding klaseng ano yan, asset. Okay? So, there. And then we got what we call growth stocks. Okay? By the way, guys, hindi porket nakikita ninyo yung company, it's a direction for you or a clue for you to invest. These are just examples and we do not in any way, okay, tell you, okay, it's in a clue or anything to buy it. We're just discussing it, okay? So we are plainly informing you of what types are this. Okay? Growth stocks, ano to? Okay? Ito naman yung may mga above average na kita from the industry, okay, from the market. Kumbaga, umaalagwa, di ba? And yun nga lang, mataas ang galaw nila, maganda ang income nila, okay? Above average ang earnings, PE ratio niya maganda, pero hindi siya nagbibigay masyado ng dividends. Why? Okay? Kasi normally pag growth ka pa lang, nagpapalakas ka pa. So, the earnings you get, pinapaikot mo pa yung pera to expand the company, and they will become a big one. You become a blue chip in the future, correct? So, ito yung mga future blue chips or future income stocks. By the way, blue chips can be also an income stock, di ba? So, hindi pa sila madalas bigyan dividendo, but high growth sila. Okay? Like the most recent company here, Mond Nissin, di ba? Ano ba ginagawa ni Mond Nissin? Ano po? What Nissan manufactures? Okay, biscuits, cup noodles, food. And food is an essential right now. Okay, kaya siya high growth. Then we got defensive stocks. Kung nag-iisip ka ng portfolio ng stocks or naghanap ka ng funds na in good and bad times, parang may payong ka, stable sila. Okay? They are normally categorized as defensive stocks. And what type of companies are defensive? Okay? These are the non-cyclical stocks na tinatawag. What do I mean by non-cyclical stocks? Yung hindi sumusunod masyado sa business cycle. Meaning, tama Sir Raymond, not seasonal. So what's the clue? Whatever you use on a daily basis in good and challenging times, that's it. Okay, so these are normally your utilities, your food, okay? So, right now, nagiging, di ba, next commodity, important commodity ng internet. So, that could be, yeah? But, again, hindi pa naman ganun kalawak ang internet penetration, but many are, di ba? Sa buong Pilipinas, hindi pa lahat into online, sa probinsya. But, again, it's a big commodity right now, okay, given the pandemic pa. So, if you want your stock portfolio or your funds actually ay hindi masyadong babagsak kahit mahina na ekonomiya, dapat tingnan nyo, defensive stocks sila. Okay? So, yun. And then we got, yung kabaliktaran ng defensive ay yung mga cyclical. Those who follow the business cycle. Humihina ang kita kapag mahina ang ekonomiya, mahina ang consumer spending. So, very sensitive siya sa economic cycle. So, it performs very well in the good times but not so well in the challenging times or during recession. So, ito yung mga non-essentials. Okay? So, like, yeah, yung test niyan, yung pandemic. Well, meron na nga, tinatawag din tayong pandemic stocks, di ba? But, cyclical in general, kapag konti pera ng tao, hindi yan yung unang gagawin. Okay? Yung travel kasi sa pandemic, it's not about, in general po it's not about the money, but it's about the limitation. So yun po yun. Diba? Yung ibang stock exchanges po kasi, may mga tech stocks. Ang Philippine Stock Exchange, Philippine Stock Market po kasi, walang tech stocks like the Netflix, diba? Ang meron tayo kasi mga more on the telco. Yan. Okay? Yung Netflix, Spotify, tech stocks yan, ang tawag sa kanila is the FANG stocks. FANGs. O, find out what's FANGs. Okay? So, yan yung mga cyclical stocks. So, avoid cyclical stocks. Well, hindi mo siya avoid, but expect cyclical stocks to go down when the economy is down. Okay? Then you got speculative stocks. Ito naman yung biglang taas and biglang bagsak din. Why? Because their operations are not stable or continuous or predictive. Ibig sabihin, hindi tulad ni Mondnisin na buwan-buwan magmamanufacture yan ng biskwit, di ba? Eh yung mining companies, depende yan kung may mahuhukay silang ginto or minerals, di ba? Okay, bakit yung mga casino, eh malaki ang dependency niyan sa foreigners, di ba? So, yan po yung biglang taas, biglang baba. Kasi mining kadalasan po niyan, mag-a-announce yan. We drilled this area, magkakaroon sila ng mining bulletin, we drilled this area, X meters, and we find something inside, deep inside deep under the mountain, ganyan. Tapos, biglang hukay pa din, bibili ka ba nun? Yes, di ba? And biglang ending pala, wala siya nakuha. Second stock. Or, and sabi nga ni Ms. Hodges, yung very strict or ever-changing government regulation. What happened? Likely, actually, sa ABS is a change in regulation. A sudden regulatory risk. So, part din po siya ng risk investing. So, here, as a guidance, okay, there is a specific stock that moved, okay, along with the different economic cycle. Okay? Kasi during expansion or yung the economy is very well, okay? Momentum stocks or tinatawag natin yung mga stocks na mataas ang pag-angat, okay? They do well during expansion. When crisis hits, okay, yung mga quality stocks, okay, mga defensive stocks, yan yung mga financially healthy companies, their stocks do well. And yung mga less volatile, yan yung mga normally defensive nga, blue chip, yan yung mga nag-perform pa din in crisis and even in recession. But when recovery starts, yung mga nabugbog na stocks, bumabangon yan. So the cheap stocks who were down during the recession, okay, becomes good in recovery, cyclical, normally yan, tataas, value, and low size, yung mga small but high-growing companies, yung growth stocks, do well in recovery. So that's a guidance for everybody. And for you to understand the stock market, okay, here in the Philippines, we set benchmark. The markets have benchmark, meaning, ano yung pamantayan nila ng performance? In the Philippines, we call it the PSEI. In America, they have Dow Jones. They have NASDAQ. Iba-ibang indices po yan. Okay? In Tokyo, they got Nikkei. So, bawat bansa may market index, and in our case, is the PSEI with the 30 stocks inside it. Okay? And when you start reading quotes, okay, or price quotes, ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Pag nakabasa ka ngayon sa ANC, or sa Bloomberg, or sa Apple nyo, or sa app ninyo na merong green, red, and orange or yellow, what does it mean? When the price goes up, it's green. Okay, from the last trade, di ba may trade every single transaction? So pag yung trade tumaas from the previous, it becomes green. When the last trade becomes lower, okay, from the previous, it turns red. Pag hindi nagbago or UNCH, yun yung UNCH, that's yellow or orange. Okay? And when the market starts, okay, the price at the start is your open price. At yung pinakamataas na price na transact or na trade during the day is the high price. And the lowest price traded during the day is the low price. At yung price sa ending ng trading, that's your closing price. So yan yung OHLC. Ginagamit po ito pag nagte-technical analysis or yung tinatawag nating price, okay, analysis, okay, yung charting na tinatawag, okay. More for the short-term traders to, but for fundamentals, yung based sa corporate earnings, price earnings, ganyan, fundamental po naman tawag doon. Mas pang long-term yun, okay. And here's the 30 stock index in the market, okay. Here's the largest and most actively traded stocks, okay. And may mga funds tayo, what we call index tracker that invest, okay, dito po sa 30 stocks or sa index members. Okay? So investing in stocks could be risky, as you all know, and we got market risk, okay, liquidity risk, political risk, regulatory risk, economic risk, industry risk. So my guidance for everybody is, okay, there is a high risk in investing in stocks. How can we lessen risk in investing stocks? Damihan ninyo. Don't depend on a single stock. Or you go outside the Philippines kasi wag maging depende sa isang bansa lang. So that's what you call different strategies for diversification. Okay? So our investing principle would be investment, okay, or investing is all about how far you want to go. Okay? How far is your destination? There are many ways to go to a certain destination. But, okay, there is a proper way, proper vehicle for you to choose in order to get to that direction. You don't walk going to the moon. You don't drive going to the next corner. So may proper po yan. Pero all of these ways, all of these vehicles, okay? Eh, pag gusto kong mag-go to the moon sa Mars, mag-rocket ship ako, risky po yun. Diba? So, every ride comes with risk. Even walking would have risk. So, kailangan alam ninyo, okay, pag pinapaka-importante ng pera nyo, huwag nyo masyadong ilagay sa risk. Okay? Yun po yung clue doon. Pag afford nyo mabawasan yan at gusto nyo rin kumita yan, that's the time you put something in a riskier asset. So, but if you don't know yet how to invest on your own, di ba nga, pag hindi naman tayo lahat marunong mag-drive, may mga driver. We got fund managers, okay, to help you, okay, do the job of choosing the stocks and bonds and other assets into a one portfolio. Direct investing is good. Okay, kaso, okay, while it gives full control for you as an investor, okay, it might be more volatile. Okay, and cost may be higher. Again, when we talk about cost, depende po yan. Okay, there are transaction costs involved and you need more time. That's the more important thing. Pag pinili nyo po yung fund investing, this is a good way to start investing. Let the fund managers do it for you. Sleep well at night. Educate yourselves. Okay muna. Tingnan mo yung strategy na investor para pag ikaw na yung nag-invest, alam mo na. At ang kagandahan ng fund investing is what? Okay? While you lose some degree of control, you can still call naman, ay gusto ko mag-top up, ay gusto ko magdagdag. Pero yung pagmimili na, kay fund manager na yon. Okay? There's a payment for that, but it demands less of your time and effort. And nakaka-smart yan kasi at 1 peso, for example, you can buy a basket of stocks. Kasi when you have 10,000, okay, how much it can buy you if you get the biggest stock in the market? It's roughly about 1,000, okay? And it will only give you 10 shares. One stock, 10 shares. But if you do fund investing, your 1 peso can give you 10,000 units, okay? Highly diversified, iba't ibang laman niya sa isang fund, and it's managed already by a fund manager. So it's a smarter way also to invest and access more assets. Okay? So have that growth mindset. Okay? Have that investor mindset when you begin to have that journey sa pag-grow ng money. Kalimutan na po yung consumer mindset natin. Ano may consumer mindset? Yung kung kailan sale, sa Lazada ang punta, hindi po sa investment. Diba? Okay? At pag ganyan tayo, consumer tayo forever, di ba? Next, okay. Yung mga walang pasensya po, ay nako, hindi yan nag-invest. Sugarol po yan, biro lang. But short term, early gratification is not for an investor. You should be long term. Alam po, dahil po tinamaan na, biglang napaganon kayo, naman yung mga nagse-sale, okay? Tapos, ano ba lingwahe ng investor? Ay, ano ba kikitain ko? Para kang negosyante. You ask about potential returns in something. You're not talking about, ay, mahal ba yan? Antayin natin yung review. Baka mura po kasi yung binibili ko. Hindi po yan. Okay? And when your investor have that growth mindset, pag nakatanggap ng sweldo, pag nakatanggap ng pera, papalaguin mo ba yan o pambibili? Diba? Pambi o panglu, pangla, diba? Panglago. Chupit. Nako, yan yung mga nagte-trade. And when you invest, you let your money work for you. Okay? So who has i-type nyo nga growth, who are growth mindset here, and consumer, kung ko yung mahilig sa 8-8 sale. Ayan. Good. And when you invest, understand the different cycles. Okay? Ayan. Good that everyone here is a growth mindset or wants to have a growth mindset. When you start investing as well, go for 3 cycles you have to look at. The market, the economy, and your life cycle. Paano po yun? Ito, classic na sa inyo to. Okay? This is the roller coaster ride of investing. The point of maximum financial opportunity. How does it work? Okay? Market, ang market po, all about psychology yan. Ang clue po dyan, pag takot ang investor, mababa ang market. Pag masaya, optimistic ang investor, maganda ang market. So when investors are enthusiastic, wow, magiging GCQ na tayo, wow, mawawala na yung community quarantine. Are you excited? Who are excited here? Are you, kikita ba yung mga company? You will buy, you will experience euphoria, di ba? Nababaliw ka na sa saya kasi kumikita ka, di ba? Until, di ba, nagiging greedy ka na. When euphoria and greed combine, what happens? Nako, lahat kaaway mo kasi gusto mo lang yumaman ka. But, ay biglang nag-ECQ. Naku, namutla ka pa sa bond paper, sa takot. Okay? Ay, nalulugi na ako. Anyway, ano naman ako, long-term investor, yan ko na lang. Ay, nag-ECQ na naman, pinadagdag, tumaas yung cases. Naku, takot na takot ka na. Nagpanik ka na. Tinawagan mo yung kaibigan mo, hindi mo na alam ang katawagan mo. Diba? Nagpanik ka na. Benta mo na. Takot na ako. Ayoko na. Babag yung market sa takot. But, pag tumahimik na, nasaktan na lahat, natakot na, duguan na, what happens? It's when, at worst, you get the best opportunities in the market for the long term. When you're at the lowest point, there's no way but to move up. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, di ba, yung tumulong sa'yo nung pinakamahirap mong parte ng buhay, di ba yung tumulong sa'yo, yun yung pinakapapasalamat at i-bless mo. That's where hope starts, relief starts, and growth starts. So, what does today's market tell you? Specifically, the stock market. So, yan po yun. Okay? Sabi ko nga, psychology is part of the market. Too much fear can be costly. So, dapat po, okay, know the economy. Why? It's when you know what assets will be moving. Pag may po, stocks po ang gumagalaw. Pag may crisis na, bonds. Pag recession na, yung pinakamapangit na part ng ekonomiya, cash is king. Pag maganda yung yung ekonomiya, yung lahat nasa labas, travel and all, lahat good times, commodities or yung mga high risky asset. Napansin niyo po ba ngayong medyo recession tayo pa din or medyo taghihirap ang pera? Ano po ang sikat ngayon sa TV or sa online? Anyone? Ano po ngayon ang pinagkakaguluhan ng tao? Ways to earn fast. Apps. Diba? Okay? Games. Game show. Kaya nga po napanood ko yung Madlang People, ay ang daming sumasali. Kasi Kailangan ng pera ngayon ng tao. That's one indicator. Loto is a sign of what? Naku, medyo taghirap. Humahanap tayo ng pagkakakitaan. So, my guidance for everybody, okay, if you're long term, don't be afraid to take calculated short-term risk. Huwag po kayong matakot, ay baka bumagsak. Babagsak naman po talaga yan. Pero kung long term po kayo, di ba, it's way ahead. Okay? In fact, if you invested last year at the lowest point of the stock market, you're still gaining today kahit mababa po ang market. Kaka-recover lang. Di ba? So, my point here is, okay, at this point in time, hindi lang po pag-i-invest na tinuturo namin. Mag-save, lessen and manage risk. Mahalin nyo po ang pinagkakakitaan ninyo. Make it multiple. Di ba? Spend wisely and invest responsibly in the long term. Because ang recovery po ng ekonomiya, hindi po nagsa-start yan sa gobyerno lang, sa inyo po. Alam niyo po ba, pag may financial wellness kayo, you got a strong financial plan, and you're stable even in the challenging economic condition right now, it means you're doing financial planning. Probably you have income more so. And the recovery starts with you. Imagine every person is financially healthy and financially wealthy. The recovery of the economy is not possible. So, do not be biased in one single asset, guys. Diversification is key today, okay? And again, napagdaanan na natin yung challenging moments ng ekonomiya, okay? So, dapat po nag-reset na tayo eh. So, the next thing there is what? Growth. And if you see recovery happening, the market's doing, okay, invest into the future. Kung narinig nyo na yung future is light at the end of the tunnel, na nasa recovery ka na, lowest point of the economy ka na, markets will start to move. Invest because of the future, not because of the present. Investing is a future forward-looking action, not assessing today. Our outlook tells us that global recovery is already expected in 2021 and until 2022, driven by emerging markets, yung mga Asia, China, but also advanced economies will stage as a comeback with a growth, okay? Overall, 6% this year, and another 4.9% in 2022. Okay? By region, ito po yan. So, every region is expected to grow. Okay? But at this point, okay, we are even expected to grow the fastest post-recession as per World Bank. Pero sabi ng fund managers natin, si Eastspring, okay, the major drivers of the markets will be vaccine rollout, and the reopening of economies. Kaya yung problema natin sa Pilipinas. If this continue, okay, US actually expected to be the driver. Okay? Malapit na po ako matapos. Will end likely by 8. Okay? Stick with us. Okay? US expected to grow very fast. Okay? Meron sila ilalabas na ammunition worth 1.9 trillion. Okay? Strong household consumption will benefit other countries. Kapag gumastos sa Amerika, mag-i-import yan. Diba? And inflation may be a risk. Diba? Ayan na, naiintindihan nyo na ngayon, diba? Yan pala yung effect ng inflation. Yung interest rate, dapat low interest rate. Pero pag gumalaw ang Federal Reserve at pag nasa interest rate, what will happen? Diba? Yan po yung magiging risk. Okay? And in the Philippines, okay, it's still equities. Okay? It's still equities that will be favored, okay, at this point. Pero kung hanap nyo ay bonds, go for the high-yielding bonds. Okay? That's in emerging markets and in Asia. Okay? And in the Philippines, the bond market drivers of the Philippines would be, again, the central bank becoming more accommodative. Ibig sabihin po, they keep the interest rate, okay, at its level right now to continue supporting the economy. Inflation has already peaked, meaning pinakamataas na niya na-reach. So we're expecting inflation to on a downtrend or bababa na kasi nalampasan niya yung pinakamataas. And if you're looking for the bond market in the Philippines, favored po ang intermediate term na bonds. Okay? Equities in the Philippines will still be dependent on how fast we vaccine people, how big the percentage of Filipinos become fully vaccinated. Ayan. We expect government to spend because of infra and election. Expect some, ano ba yung mga look forward natin this coming months? Well, the ghost month, sabi nga nila, may ECQ pa, so it will be a lukewarm market, kumbaga matabang, kumbaga. Tapos, ang next move niyan is the announcement of GDP in second quarter, which is expected to be good because of mababa tayo last year, second quarter. Then another is the fourth quarter spending. Mas maganda na tayo, di ba? So, ibig sabihin po niyan, if we got a lower negative growth last quarter of 2020, mas iba na po yung sitwasyon ngayon, may vaccine na, people are moving, nakapag-adjust sa negosyo, so we expect growth still to happen. But there are risks. Election. Who are filing candidacy? Who are the next leaders in the next 6 years that will propel us back to expansion? So yun po yung dapat nyong pakinggan. Now, let's talk about cryptocurrency. Okay. Alam ko po, madami interesado. Okay. Who's into crypto right now? Can I tap yes for me? Ayan. Hey, it's very nice to know that many are trying Bitcoin. Bitcoin is it happens. It can give you returns. It can give you potential gains. Pero, anong nangyari sa sarili natin? What's your priority? Kasi po, Bitcoin is still a cryptocurrency based on supply. Wala siyang fundamentals. Okay? It's actually driven by tweets at some point, di ba? Pero, we're not saying it's bad. Just that, all right, importante po na maintindihan natin na iba pa rin siya sa traditional currency. Yung pera natin sa wallet, back up yan ng central bank. Wala pang ganun ang cryptocurrency. In fact, binabalaan tayo ng BSP na mag-ingat. Buyers beware. Because sometimes it's being used for money laundering. Yung mga mismong pera nalalaunder eh. What more yung mga anonymous cryptocurrencies. But again, cryptos, they provide you returns. But you have to know what to prioritize. Ingat lang, if you're there, okay, it's being accepted one by different economies like El Salvador. PSE may even said they may host it. Germany is allowing institutional corporate funds, di ba? Pero kasi kailangan natin ng consumer or investor protection. Okay? Asset po rin kasi yan eh. Ayaw nyo naman, di ba, na mag-invest sa isang bagay or sa isang asset na wala kang regulatory protection. Di ba? Baka maglokohan tayo. Baka magamit siya sa panluloko. Sometimes it's not the asset's fault. Sometimes it's the player's fault. Ika nga. So, we have to okay? So I have to ask you, okay, give me a little time pa as I wrap this up. Meron lang tayong isang activity gagawin, but we're ending soon. May tanong po ko sa inyo. What is your greatest fear in life? Okay? Debt, losing, okay? No money, ma-broke, losing loved ones, okay? Pwede humingi ng presentation nyo. Okay, sad event, sickness, accident, disability, walang legacy. Okay, more of that fear that we call death. Okay? Now, may I ask you, ngayon alam ko na, invite ko kayo sa isang quick game. I call it Bull and Bear game. Okay, MJ, can you help me launch the poll? Kasi po, this will test our market psychology. Okay? Gusto ko po matuto tayo. Ano ba yung sinasabi ni Sir Mark ng market psychology? Okay. Here, okay, I have a company here who wants to, okay, ang gagawin niyo lang po ay pumili ng bull or bear. Okay? Sa poll na ilo-launch natin, okay? Ayan. Yeah. Okay? meron pong tanong, toro or oso? Okay? Pipili kayo, okay, sa mga sitwasyon na papakita ko mamaya. Okay, practice lang to ha. But I want you to hear the madlang people's, okay, consensus kung bull or toro or oso. Pag toro, positive news ang nakikita ninyo. Pag oso, bad news or not so good news. Okay? We have a slides coming up asking you toro or oso. Okay? Simply as good or bad news, toro or oso. Are you all ready? Can you type in ready? This will be very quick. Okay? Ready? And I end the poll para po ma-restart natin yung game. Okay? Now, there's this company called Starbucks who is what? Staging an initial public offering o IPO. First time niya mag-o-offer na stock sa public. Gusto niya kasi magpa-expand. At ang presyo niya ay 100 pesos per share. Meron 20 stores, profitable yung company, wala masyadong utang, in a growing industry. Okay? Ito yung company. Okay, now, since all of you are ready, okay, who wants to buy here in this company called Starbucks? Type me. Who wants to buy? Okay, madami. Now, okay, let's start at 100. Okay? At 100. Okay. Who wants to buy? Okay? Again, my question. Who wants to buy? Okay, me. Ayan. Okay, very good. Sige. Okay, medyo nagbagal lang yung aking PC. Okay, I'm here. Now. Okay. Sige, key nyo na lang sa chat group yung kung toro or oso ha. Okay? Headlines in 3, 2, 1. Toro or oso, Starbucks shakes the stock market with an overwhelming support from local investors. Toro or oso? Ayan. Okay, I'm seeing more people say it's toro. What do I mean by that? When we say it's oversubscribed, ibig sabihin there's so much demand for this stock. Just you're telling me right now it's toro. Okay, ibig sabihin interested kayo. Okay, now, okay, my next question. Okay, from 100, what happens to the price if madami kayo nagtoro? Up or down? It's up. Very good. Okay. Now, from 150, okay, ikiin nyo sa inyong poll kung toro or oso or type on the chat toro or oso as I break the next bit of information in 3, 2, 1. Toro or oso? World Bank forecasts GDP to rise in the 3% in 2022. Starbucks, okay, expands. Toro or oso? I'm seeing more of the toro here. 95% of our participants, over 500 now, saying it's toro. So ibig sabihin high demand. Okay, the price goes up from 150, it becomes 230. Okay. Ayan, 230. Nako, nagkaroon na ng market glitch. Okay, nakita nyo na. But, my next question now. Okay, from 230. Toro or oso? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Starbucks name as Business of the Year for superior management. Okay, launch the poll. Toro or oso? Okay, alam niyo po ba ang business expansion at yung pagkakaroon ng awards ay indication of good management capabilities, good governance. So, you see here that malakas ang toro. So, from 230, okay, the price moves up to 380. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, toro also from 380, let's pull out the The poll, okay? Tell me if the next bit of info is Toro or Oso. Next bit of info is unemployment rate drops 4% in July. Okay. Starbucks captures industry. Binili niya ang coffee bean and shuttles best. Toro or Oso? Okay. Ayan. Butoro. Okay, may nag-ooso. Okay, but I'm seeing now sa ating poll, 84% says it's Toro. Okay. Tandaan niyo, bumagsak ang unemployment. That's a good thing, everyone. Ibig sabihin, more jobs now have become available and the company becomes an acquirer of competitors. So, from the price, okay, it goes up or down. The price now is from 380, it's now 610. Okay, sino po kumita na nag-start ng 100? Me. Chat in me. Okay. Okay, very good. Kasi po, ang merger is a business strategy to expand leadership and profitability. So that's a good sign. Now, at 610, who's buying? Chat nyo po, ako. Okay, chat nyo ako. Who's buying? Ako. Ako, may nagsasell na. Okay? Ayan, madami. Madami who's buying pa. Buying at 610. Okay, ready the poll? In 3, 2, 1, Toro or Oso? The next info is inflation rises to 6%. Ayan. From 4.5 as food and fuel prices soar. Market prices of coffee also went up. Okay, dahil sa typhoon. Toro or Oso? Okay, 66% of those answering right now, over 300, says it's also. Still, some are saying it's Toro. So from the high right now, okay, ang presyo, is it up or down? Ayan, yung mga nag-buy pa ng 600, naku, may 680, bumagsak na, it's now 390. So nalugi po kayo. Okay, but the market sentiment is what? It's also ruling the market. Okay. Now, next. Okay. Sino bibili? Chat me. Who wants to buy at 390? Ayan, euphoric na. You're learning, guys. That's very good. 390 is buying. Ayan, euphoric na kayo. Next bit of info. Paul, ready? In 3, 2, 1. Toro or Oso? BSP raises interest rates to manage high inflation. Toro or Oso? Okay, let's launch the poll. Toro or Oso? Okay. Ayan. Okay, I'm seeing more of the Toro here. What happens again when interest rate is raised? That's to control inflation. And from that price a while ago, from it now further slid to 310. Okay? Ang interest rate po, okay, may effect yan. So, ngayon, dahil nga yung inflation is a problem, okay, interest rate has been risen or tinaas, it may also affect the cost of borrowing of companies. Kaya bumaba siya to 310 pesos. Okay? So, good, good. Hey, are you enjoying? Say yes naman. Kung you're enjoying, malapit na tayo matapos. I'm wrapping this up. Okay, next bit of info. Okay, ready na sa poll? In 3, 2, 1, Toro or Oso? Government Central Bank, okay, committed to put measures in controlling inflation. Toro or Oso? Is that a good thing? Okay, Toro or Oso? I'm seeing 83% of our attendees, okay, has, okay, sentiment na it's a Toro. So from the 310, the price is stayed at 310. Medyo malaki din po yung Oso ngayon, pero minsan nangyayari po yan because investors at some degree, they stay on the sidelines as they wait and see. Diba? Ang tawag po dyan is sideline. They wait and see on the developments. So chill lang. Okay? So next bit of info, ready the poll. In 3, 2, 1, Toro also from 310. What do you think happens? Toro also, the next bit of info is, okay, Starbucks explore international market, okay, and opens first store in Paris. Oh, Toro or Oso, okay. There you go. From 310, the price soars to 570. And expansion is very good, especially international kapag growth opportunities for the company. Sorry, for the market. So it's a Toro. Okay, it's a Toro. Okay, 570. Who wants to buy? Say ako. Who wants to sell? Say me. Okay. Are you enjoying? Ayan, very good. Okay, from 570, who's buying or selling? The next bit of info, Toro Oso, Paul launch, Starbucks elects new president from the steel industry. Okay, a coffee shop led by a steel manufacturer leader before, Toro Oso. I'm seeing a toss between Toro Oso kasi 55-45. It's now beating. Okay, nagmimix siya into half-half. The price becomes 540. So it happens po pala. Kasi uncertainties on management leadership will have some slight negative effect. Diba? Ay, pagdududahan natin to. Anong alam niya sa kape kung bakal? But let's see. Who's buying at 540? Chat me. Okay? Chat me. Who wants to buy at 540 as it dips now to 540? Next bit of info. Toro or Oso, Paul launch. Okay? Consumer outlook shows optimism. Okay? And with that optimism, the products, okay, expands sa Starbucks, and now they're offering the first drive-through. Is it exciting? I see 95% of our audience saying it's a Toro. So from that price, it's now 540. It stays at 540. Okay, tama ba to? Okay, changes in management. Okay, wait and see. Diba? And consumer optimism is likely to indicate what? Ay, mukhang tataas ang spending in the future. Pero may chance pa kayo at 540, madlang people. Okay, pulse nyo na yan. I-pulse na yung market because Toro or also, the next bit of info is Starbucks fast food items sold, sell like hotcake. Okay, Toro also plus their income grew 48%. Okay, Toro also now 97% of our market, our audience says it's Toro. Okay, the price 800. Who's selling? Who's selling? Chat nyo po, sell. Naku, may mga ganid na. Buy more pa, 800 na nga. Kaya madami nalulugi. Ayan. Sell, sell, sell. Okay, the next bit of info is, okay, hold your horses, guys. Okay, hindi Toro also, but hold your horses. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Starbucks changes its corporate name to Coffee B. Toro or Oso? Ayan, madami nag-sell. Tingin nyo ba tataas pa sa 800 yon? Okay. Now I'm seeing more of the Oso. Ayaw nyo ba ng Coffee B as a name? Okay, Oso daw. Why change of brand? Ayan, kung may question na ang market natin. Sell daw, sabi ng madlang people. I see more Osos. Market is now being flanked by Oso. Ayaw nyo sa Coffee B. Okay. The next bit of info, okay, Paul launch later in 3, 2, 1. What's the price? Nag-surge to 1,000. Ayan yung mga nag-sell. Nag-miss out dun sa 200 pesos. Nagalaw pa because of the Coffee B rebranding at yung profitability. Now at 1,000. Who's buying? Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Okay? I'm seeing more of the yes. Dumadami po mga ganid natin. But I saw the sentiment earlier na also, ha? Okay. From 1,000, the next bit of info is 3, 2, 1. Oh, you face your greatest fear. Is that a Toro or a Oso? Yung chinat nyo kaninang greatest fear ninyo, okay, nangyari. Nagkasakit kayo nung tumaas yung market. Okay, I'm seeing more of the bears now in the market. Kaso, nagkasakit kayo. Gaganda pa yung market. Does it matter to you? Okay? Does it matter to you? Yes or no? Ano ba yung mga greatest fear? It's sickness, accident, death, or disability, which is not really about the market, right? When you face your fear, mostly health reasons, life reasons, the market cannot actually protect you all the time. Paano pag bagsak pa yung market at the time you need it most? At nagkasakit kayo during the bad market. This is what we call risk management. Diyan po napupunta yung getting protected. It's not all about growing your money. It's also about protecting your money. So when you do that, that's what you call financial protection. At kapag yung financial protection, sinama mo sa pag-i-invest mo, then you build your financial pyramid. Your mountain that you will climb, you will hike. 'Di ba? Kasi in bad markets, bumabagsak po yung mga assets tulad ng real estate, investment, okay? This too they remain with us. In good and bad times, not so bad times, these two remain with you. When the markets recover, aba, tulad ngayon, this will go up. But it's all about a strategy called protect and invest. When you protect and invest, okay, it's combining diversification, being defensive, buying at a low price, and disciplined investing. That's the beauty of it. Okay? And when you build your assets over time, okay, lagi po yan priority. Unahin nyo yung safe, then go to the riskier and the riskiest eventually. Hindi po inuuna yung pinaka-risky. Kasi po, priorities. Okay? While yung mga very risky assets, ganito po yung nangyayari. Tama, who agrees with me here? Some new investors do not prioritize. Kasi, di ba, hakbang agad. So, dapat we prioritize. Okay? We aim to have all of this in your portfolio. Kumuha kayo ng VUL, insurance, kuha rin kayo ng UITF. Okay? To compare, to complement those insurance and investment. So that, when you retire, when you're physically dependent, aba, you're not financially dependent. Okay? So I look forward, I make sense there, guys. So always consider your life above everything, above the market, above the economy. It's your life. Okay? It's your life. Here are the strategies you have to take. Life cycle investing and life cycle protection ang kailangan ninyo. And life cycle saving, actually. So, with that, you'll be able to achieve your goals. It's a combination of what? When you save, you make your 10,000, 10,1 sa stability. In investing, you make your 10,000, like 11,000. That's growth. And when it's protection, this 36,000 or 10,000 could be this amount, that's security. It's all about what? Like, this what summarizes what we talk about. Maximize opportunities, know your targets, be more conservative as you grow older so that it protects your money and it protects your wealth. Okay? So, it's investing and protection is like planting a tree. Patience, care, managing risk, knowing when to harvest is very important. Alam nyo po ba kung anong difference nung hindi alam yung harvest time? Okay? When you don't know when to be happy. Wala kayo sinet na goals. Kahit may prutas na, ay pwede pa yan, baka bumunga pa. Sometimes naabutan ka ng nabulok na. Okay? Pag nabulok na, naabutan ka ng market. 'Di ba? Bumagsak na. So, let me close this with this question for everybody. If everyone can invest who do you think is the most aggressive? Fisherman, bird, pig, or turtle? A, B, C, or D na lang po ang sagot ninyo. O ba, nandito po na si Manny Kondo. Baka mag-anak ni Marie Kondo ito. Okay. Letter. Ako, madami fisherman. Okay, turtle daw. Ako, mix pala A and B. Okay. The answer is the turtle. Why? Because parang ang market parang dagat yan eh. Pag fisherman ka, you're very conservative. Pero one at a time yung fish mo, yung pagkuha ng fish, right? So it's not the fisherman who's the most aggressive. Okay? Not even the pig. Yung pig ba yung bird yung mas aggressive? Sino po mas aggressive dito? The pig or the bird? It's the pig. But who's smarter? It's the bird. Diba? Smart talaga yung mga bird. Okay? And then, the turtle, may akala nyo mabagal lang yan. Pero siya lang ang nakakalakad sa taas, sa lupa, at siya lang nakakaslangoy sa ilalim ng dagat. Kasi, ano meron yung turtle na wala ang lahat? It's the shell. The turtle took risk diving, but may protection siyang kasama from the shell. Okay? So that's the lesson for today. And which investor will bear the biggest risk? A, B, C, or C lang pala. Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? Ba yun, kakamali na ako. Sorry po. Okay. I see more to letter C. Makinig talaga kayo sa akin kanina at kay MJ. Okay, the answer is none. Because the one who will bear the biggest risk is the one who did not take the risk at all. So, parang love lang po yan. It's better to love than not to love at all. But if you stay without risk, you're making the biggest risk at all. Okay? So, with that, I'd like to close this with safety comes first before anything returns in general. But protection is an all-weather strategy. Remember, in a good market, you got sick. Okay, may pera ka. In a bad market, you got sick. That's how. Paano po ba yun? Yun po yung meaning ng protection. Our financial advisors, our dear customers, our mission is really to help you grow your wealth, make your life stable, not just your money, not just in the good times, but also in the challenging times. That's why in the most challenging times of the recent decade, your company, Pru Life UK, has been the leading insurance company according to annual premium new business, okay, for 2020. And we became a leader, you became the leader at the most challenging time. And that's a testament of our commitment to grow and to help you live and do well, health and wealth at the same time. So thank you very much everyone. We pick more than 1,000 at nagpapasalamat po kami sa inyong lahat for making this webinar very exciting, very successful, and we look forward you learn a lot from this session. With that, I turn you back to our lovely host, MJ Pangan, for some closing reminders. Again, stay safe, everybody, and we look forward seeing you again in our next webinar.
Hi, Sir